The slave who became a philosopher. The story of Epictetus. Imagine this: Rome almost 2,000 years ago. A bustling empire of power, wealth, and cruelty. And in the middle of it all, a young boy is born into slavery. His name is Epictetus. He is not born free. He owns nothing, not even his own body. His master controls his life. But inside this fragile boy is something unbreakable. A mind hungry for wisdom. The early struggles. Epictetus grew up under the ownership of Epictetus, a powerful secretary to the Emperor Nero. Life in a Roman household could be brutal. Slaves were often treated as tools, not as people. One story tells us that Epictetus suffered from a weak leg. Some say it was twisted or broken by his master. When it happened, Epictetus calmly warned, "If you continue, you will break it." And when the bone snapped, he did not cry or beg for mercy. He simply said, "There, did I not tell you?" This was no ordinary boy. Even as a slave, Epictetus had already learned a great truth. No one can control your mind unless you let them. The turning point, philosophy. Despite his chains, Epictetus was allowed to attend lectures of the Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus. And here everything changed. Musonius taught that life's hardships were not punishments but training. That true freedom wasn't about wealth or power, but about mastery over yourself. Epictetus absorbed every word. Where others saw suffering, he saw opportunity. Where others cursed fate, he learned to accept it. The Stoics believed in the dichotomy of control. Some things are in our power, others are not. Our thoughts, choices, and actions, these are ours. Wealth, status, health, even life itself, these can be taken away. Epictetus realized, if I cling only to what is mine, my mind, my choices, then I will always be free, no matter my condition. From slave to teacher. Eventually, Epictetus gained his freedom. He could have chased riches or political power like so many freedmen did. But he chose another path. He lived simply. His home was modest, sometimes little more than a hut. He owned almost nothing. Yet, students from across the empire traveled great distances just to hear him speak. Why? Because Epictetus had lived what he taught. He didn't just preach Stoicism, he embodied it. He told his students, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself can overpower my free will." Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Exile and legacy. In time, the Roman Emperor Domitian banished all philosophers from Rome. Epictetus was forced to leave the city he had known. But did he despair? No. He simply moved to Greece, to a small city called Nicopolis, and there he founded his school. Generals, senators, and young men eager for wisdom came to learn from him. And though Epictetus never wrote a single book himself, his words were preserved by a student named Arian. Those words, the Discourses and the Enchiridion, still survive today. And so, a man who began life as a powerless slave became one of the greatest teachers of freedom in all of history. The timeless lesson. The story of Epictetus is not just history. It is a reminder for us today. You may face struggles. You may feel trapped by circumstances, by people, by fate. But like Epictetus, you still hold one unshakable power: the freedom to choose your response. You cannot control what others do. You cannot control fortune, health, or the passing of time. But you can always control your mind. That is the heart of Stoicism. That is the gift of Epictetus, the slave who became free, not by breaking his chains, but by mastering himself.